When you think about Crocs, you think the classic clog. But did you know there's also a canvas clog, a vegan suede clog, a coastal-inspired style, a style with studs, straps, and lots of sass? Honestly, I could keep going with the surprises. You've got to see them for yourself because there is literally a style for every kind of girl. So do your thing and head to crocs.com or a store near you now.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, this was some good news for me the other day, because if you guys don't know, I am a big Dave Bautista fan. I knew this man all the way back when we were just calling him Bautista with no U, just Batista, not the Bautista, you know, the actual way of spelling Batista. But recently, it was announced that Bautista is going to be playing as Kratos in the God of War. Is it a movie or a TV series? Because if it's a TV series, then we gonna be good for a while. But if it's a movie, then I'm like, dang, man. I mean, I guess we could just watch it the one time. Amazon Prime, live action. Okay, so there's like a film adaptation of the first game was announced in 2005. They didn't do nothing with that, though. I feel like I would have remembered that if they had came out with a God of War movie. I didn't know too much about God of War back in 2005, but I feel like the years following, I kind of know, a little bit about it. I feel like I did pay attention when they came down to TV shows and stuff. This is it. This is going to be, it's going to be on Amazon Prime. I'm going to have to subscribe to Amazon Prime when it comes out, because, it's one of those things where I'm like, I can't just not let this, just pass on by. I don't watch it and things. I'm going to have to subscribe to Amazon Prime and stuff. I've been trying to, find a reason to subscribe to Amazon Prime. I think this is going to be that reason, because, anything Bautista related, I have to watch it. But I feel like I need to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Why are you such a Bautista fan? What happened? What's going on? So for those that don't know, when I very first got into wrestling, Bautista was the first wrestler that, he made me, fall in love with the game of wrestling. Yeah, it was, the funny thing is, I don't think you never forget what made you into a wrestling fan. So, it was was it a cold and stormy night? No, I just think it was a random night in 2007. But I remember, because following wrestling pay-per-views and stuff, so it was right after WrestleMania 23, but it was right after Backlash of 2007. So for those that are not, into wrestling, Backlash is that's the first pay-per-view that they have after WrestleMania. I think they changed it up. I don't know. Hold on for a second, because it might not be like that anymore. Hold on for a moment. Let me just go back to... Oh, I guess no. I guess they still do it, because sometimes they change it up. I feel like they'll have Monday Night Raw Backlash, or it just be some old random stuff, and I'm like, fam, that I guess they did. They still carrying on with the tradition and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, it was right after Backlash. And I remember I was flipping, because this was something that I would do, because before moving into this last house, so I were childhood home and things. So I would flip through the channels. I'd just be up in the middle of the night flipping through the channels. and just trying to find something to watch, because before that, I never had a TV of my own. I didn't get my own TV until, when did I move into I think I was 9. So yeah, maybe like, I was like 9 I think I had it before I turned 10. But anyways, I will flip through the channels. I see what's on TV. Nothing would catch my eye. I just stay up the whole night. I wouldn't, that's the thing where it's like, when you get a TV of your own, you do things like that. You just, I guarantee and I promise you, if you've never had a TV of your own, like let's just say, for an example, you've always had like family TVs. Like, you never had a TV where it was just yours. Like, it wasn't like a TV, like, no, this is your TV. So you get your own TV. I guarantee, I guess like it's a little bit different now, it's like with all the different streaming services. But yeah, back then it was like, it was just nothing but cable shows and stuff. Like, they didn't have, like smart TVs where it had Netflix, Hulu, and all these other different apps and stuff. Like, no, it just I only had cable. So anyways, I'm flipping through the channels. All of a sudden, I see, I think because it had to have been a Friday night. So I was like, yeah, because usually that's when I would be up. So it was a Friday night. I'm flipping through the channels. There ain't nothing on. I'm like, dang, man, I get tired of this. Like, my hand's starting to cramp up. All of a sudden, there's this TV show called Friday Night SmackDown. Let me see what this is all about. So they're showing highlights of because I think that's what it was, is that Backlash was that past Sunday. So they're showing like the highlights of what had happened. Or was it, because I think, didn't they have like, I think Undertaker and Bautista had a steel cage match, and then it was that match where they both fell at the same time. I think that was that match. But no, I think that was some time after. But anyways, I remember I was flipping through the channels. They turned to Friday Night SmackDown. I was like, then seen Friday Night SmackDown. And then, they're, Bautista and Undertaker, they're up on the stage, like, fighting and stuff, right? So I'm like, oh, this seems kind of interesting, huh? I wonder what they fighting about. I wonder what they got going on and stuff. Like, why are they so mad? Why is that man look, the Undertaker fellow, he looks kind of dead. Like, he ain't got no pulse. And then that Bautista man, he looks very angry. Like, he got like a animal personality and stuff. All of a sudden, Bautista, he didn't really run like full speed, but he ran at his top speed, tackled Undertaker off the stage. They both fall like on the floor part of the stage and stuff. The stage collapse, explosions go off, and I'm like, bro, what just happened? Like, what, how is this? Oh, they're dead. Oh, 100% they're dead. They're not alive. They are 100% dead. All of a sudden, they cutting promos and talking about their next match and all these other different things. And I'm like, didn't these guys just like, I mean, they just tackled each other off the stage, like where Batista at least tackled him off the stage. At the time, I didn't know it was a spear. I call it a tackle. So I'm like, fam, what is this? What's going on? What's all this stuff that's happening and things? So anyways, next thing you know, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm like, oh, I gotta see what's happening. And that was the thing, like, I didn't know that it was just called Friday Night SmackDown and stuff, and then there was like Monday Night Raw and all these other, so I didn't know about all of that. It is like just, flipping through the channels, and I'm like, oh, there is more than just one. Oh, they got that. They got ECW. They got all these shows and stuff. And I'm like, man, I just, and that was the messed up thing about like growing up. Like, I didn't really get into TNA Impact. I ain't getting into it until now. So I'm like, I do kind of regret that, not getting into it when I was younger and stuff. But man, I was like, WWE as a kid, I was like, bruh, this is amazing. I'm like, nah, this is good. I was like, so no, I just remember going to school, and then there was like, because I was asking other friends, I'm like, do y'all know about this stuff on TV called wrestling? And then there was like, I remember there was this one kid I was cool with. He was like, oh yeah, they got like, like WWE. They got like Bobby Lashley and and like guys like him and stuff. And I'm like, Bobby Lashley. I'm like, I think that was that one dude that was at the Vince McMahon and Donald Trump, back when Donald Trump was normal. But yeah, I think that was that guy and stuff. I'm like, let me look a little bit into Bobby Lashley. By the way, Bobby Lashley has not changed over the years. I got into wrestling when I was like roughly, like when I was, I think about like when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I'm 30 and Bobby Lashley still looks the same. That's not normal. That's one of those things. I'm like, Bobby Lashley, you can tell that he has gotten like slightly older, but at the same time, I'm like, he has like a reverse Morgan Freeman thing. Like, that man's been young his whole life. Bobby Lashley, hold on for a second. Let me just see how old Bobby Lashley is. If that man's 50 years old, no, he's a vampire, 100%. I don't care what anybody. He's 50 years old. He turned 50 years old this year, and he still looks the same. No, yeah, Bobby Lashley is a vampire. I don't care what anybody says. That's somewhere I know people are like, I bet you wouldn't say that to his face. At least during the day I would, but at night I wouldn't, especially if I'm inside of a juke joint with smoking Stack and the rest of the crew and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna say it to him when the sun is up, and I'm like, yeah, step out of that shade. And then I'm like, all I'm saying, I've never seen Bobby Lashley, outside during the day and things. I think I did see a video where he was showing off a Pokemon collection, but where was he? For those that have seen that video, he was inside his house. Bobby Lashley is a vampire. I don't care what anybody says, all right? So, but anyways, getting back to Bautista. But, no, yeah, then I just remember, like, every time when Bautista would show up on TV, I was glued to it. So besides me being a wrestling fan or becoming a wrestling fan, I was a Bautista fan. I went out and got his book. I was trying to get that, cause I remember he came out with like wrestlers, they had like these like documentary DVD things that was coming out at one point in time. So he had one, I think it was called like I Walk Alone or something like that. And, sadly I didn't get it, but, I think it might be available like on cause no, didn't Netflix, they had like a bunch of different WWE things. So yeah, I'll probably, but I mean, I read his book, so I think that's what it probably is going to be, like stuff that was pulled from the book into that. Because no, yeah, his book, I think I still have that book. I have to check and see and stuff, because I was like, it's somewhere in my closet. I know it's probably like buried amongst a bunch of other stuff from my childhood and things. But no, yeah, I was like, Bautista, it was one of those things where I was like getting into wrestling and then just seeing him on TV, and you just see this man, like, you see him as like such a good guy, and then when he became like a villainous wrestler, like when he turned on Rey Mysterio, and then I was like, hey, yo, what is going on? I'm like, man, Bautista, this ain't normal. This ain't before I even get into that, no, so I need to talk about when I had sat down and watched his WrestleMania match against Triple H at WrestleMania 21. So it was funny because I was trying to get WrestleMania 23. I didn't know that there was multiple WrestleManias. I was unaware of that. So I had just seen the first WrestleMania, and I'm like, that looks like that's WrestleMania. I'm like, that pay-per-view that they were talking about. So I ended up getting WrestleMania at Target. I still remember I got WrestleMania 21 at Target, and then I'm watching it, and I'm like, this ain't WrestleMania 23. I'm like, this ain't that same, because I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch that match between him and Undertaker. So I'm like, man, I didn't mess around and got the wrong WrestleMania and things. So yeah, it was one of those two DVDs I'm gonna have to get at some point in time. That Batista DVD and then the WrestleMania 23 DVD. Nah, I got it. That's like a part of my childhood that I need to like close up, and it needs to be finalized and stuff. So, but anyways. So yeah, I went ahead, got the WrestleMania 21 DVD. I'm watching it, realizing this ain't the WrestleMania I wanted, but hey, it's WrestleMania, it's wrestling content, I'ma like it anyways. I watched that match between him and Triple H. Batista definitely lived up to that animal nickname, because he demolished Triple H. I like that, and you know what's so crazy is that when you're watching wrestling, like you're watching it like for the sport and all of that, but there's like that part of you when you're watching it and then you see a wrestler beaten down, bloodied, like, and then that's the thing where it's like, you have to like also thank Triple H too, because it's like, you made this man look like he was unstoppable. Like it was one of those things where I'm like, I have fear in me over Bautista. I'm like, nah, this ain't, if I'm a wrestler, I wouldn't want to go up against that man, catch a spine buster. I look over to the side as I'm like regaining consciousness back in my spine. I look over to my side, this man shaking the ropes, going crazy, then thumbs down, kicked me in my stomach, lifted me up and slammed me back down on my spine again. So now it's like, and then this time around, my spine just permanently shut down. Yeah, no, I'm good, bro. I'm okay. I think it's best that I don't catch a Bautista bomb and stuff. So, but yeah, man, I was like, Bautista growing up, he's somebody that was like strongly a part of my childhood. So, you know, seeing him like just even now where it's like watching his movies, you know, seeing anything Bautista related, I'm still glued to any screen that has Bautista on it. I know people are like, oh bro, you gassing him up way too much, like he wasn't even all that. Look, if you want to be a Bautista hater, you very well can. I'm never gonna be a Bautista hater. All right, that's one thing for sure. I'm like, I guess when you find a wrestler where it's like, you know, as a kid, and then you just kind of like grow an attachment to that wrestler, then for that wrestler to still be in the, you know, like entertainment business and stuff, doing movies. And that was one thing where I was like, you know, watching Guardians of the Galaxy, like I was watching it for the story and all of that. But I'm like, again, anytime when Bautista was on the screen, I'm like, I got to watch it. You know, I have to. So, yeah, hearing this news of him getting a role as Kratos for God of War, I'm like, amazing. I'm like, amazing work. And I'm like, God of War, that was, so I remember when I had got the, it was a God of War PSP that came out, like a God of War themed PSP that came out years ago. And I remember I got it because my original PSP had broke. So they came out with this God of War video game. Played that game left and right. And then I was like, no, then getting the God of War game, the newer the 2018 one. I need to beat that game, and then I need to play the second one. But yeah, I was all like playing that. I was like, man, this game, I was like, definitely like different from what I had played on the PSP. I mean, yeah, it's like over 10 years later and stuff, but well, no, it might have been, because I'm trying to think. I think that came out in 2000. Yeah, so no, it was over. About like 12 years, because if it came out in 2000, I think that was when that game had came out. Hold on for a second. God of War PSP. Let's see. Was it Chains of Olympus? I think it might have been that. I think it might have been Chains of Olympus and stuff, because I think that might have been it. They selling it, of course. GameStop selling that game for $27.99. Wait, it was oh yeah, that's right, because I had it is a 10-year-old video game. Hold on for okay, there we go, because I felt the sneeze building up and stuff. But anyways, but I remember now, because I got it when, I take that back. I had got my years wrong when I was in middle school, because I had just went to the 7th grade that year. So yeah, I was like, okay, 2008. Yeah, okay. I was like, it's all making sense to me now. So, but anyways, nah, man, you know, it was pretty, because 10, if I was 11, so I was 21, no. Was I 20 or 20? I got it. I'll figure that math out at some point in time. But anyways, nah, man, you know, playing so much of that God of War and then playing a little bit of this, the 2018 version. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, it's like God of War. It's one of those games where I'm like, more so the PSP version. I did take that was like one of my favorite PSP games growing up. So yeah, I was like, you know, yeah, just seeing it now where I'm like, it's getting a TV series. And then you got Bautista playing, and you know, here's the thing, because I was like, for those that don't know, I was I'm writing I finished it on the website Wattpad, but it's this zombie story that I was writing, and I was thinking, because I'm like, who could play the villain in here? Like, if it was to get turned into a movie, who would play as the villain? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this would be like a full circle moment where I'm like, okay, you know, he got me into wrestling, and then it's like, because I definitely, if my zombie movie or show, if it were to get turned into some like form of, you know, entertainment, like, yeah, like I said, whether it's a TV show or a movie, I definitely want to play as the main character. Bautista has to play as the villain. It's one of those things where I'm like, no, it has to. Well, because I don't know, because he did do that one, that zombie was like, what was it, it was like a Dawn of the Dead. It wasn't like a direct sequel, but it was a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. I can't think of the name of that movie, but you don't really see when actors do like multiple zombie movies and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how that will work out, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, nah, man, you know, he will have to play the villain, because I'm writing it for him. Like, I'm like designing the villain as him. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, nah, man, you know, if it does get turned into a TV show or movie, I'm like, nah, Bautista, I'm like, just you let me know, like, how can we get you a part of this? I'm like, if I gotta go through like some, you know, initiation where it's like, I gotta do this challenge where it's like, hey, I need you to wrestle at WWE for a year, and then I need you to travel over to Saudi Arabia and do a Royal Rumble match, and I need you to fly back to the United States, and then you need to, I'm like, fam, just let me know, but I have to have you in this either TV show or movie. So, but anyways, no, yeah, congratulations to Dave Bautista. I will definitely be front and center when it does come out on Amazon. Because when does that show come out? Hold on for a second. I got to look that up. Hold on, is this it? So they said begins the series, enter back-to-back production in 2 seasons from February 2016 to April 2026 to April 2027. And then there is like, so Bautista, they don't say when exactly it's gonna release. Okay, here we go. God of War is scheduled to premiere on Amazon Prime in more than that. That don't tell me absolutely nothing. That's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, bro, y'all could have had like a release date somewhere and stuff. Hold on for a second. Let's just see. Okay, so there's like around, so next year. Okay, I'll wait until next year and stuff. And yeah, just overall, yeah, just man, I don't want to wait until, I wish the show was coming out tomorrow, but because I'm excited, man. So, but anyways, yeah, once again, congratulations to Dave Bautista. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.